For 10 solid months, the cryptocurrency industry has been waiting for a set of clear rules to do business in the United States. Without them, billion-dollar companies face a stark choice: operate in a legal gray area or take their capital and move offshore. The solution was supposed to be the Bipartisan Clarity Act. The idea was to take a wild, unregulated market and snap it into a rigid framework, establishing new SEC disclosure rules and strict anti-money laundering laws for crypto exchanges. Lawmakers who drafted the bill say it is completely ready to go. The text is finalized. But right now, just days before Congress leaves for its critical August recess, the Clarity Act is sitting completely frozen in the Senate. Unless this legislation can cross the finish line before lawmakers go home, a multi-trillion-dollar technology frontier will remain trapped in a legal vacuum in the United States. The crypto bill is currently entangled in a massive legislative traffic jam, sitting right alongside urgent military funding packages and international sanctions. This raises a practical question. Why do heavily negotiated bills, with lawmakers publicly stating they want to pass them, suddenly hit a brick wall? Congressional gridlock operates as a mechanical failure, driven by three highly specific institutional traps. The first trap is the weight of microscopic nuance. When a massive bill reaches its final stages on the Senate floor, the broad ideas are settled, but the technical definitions are not. For example, the crypto bill contains a fierce jurisdictional fight over who actually enforces the new rules. Some want the Department of Justice as the unified enforcer, while others push to fracture power across 50 state attorneys general. Then, how do we classify the assets? The industry wants decentralized networks, but lawmakers are attempting to categorize them as securities intermediaries. Senators like Cynthia Lummis have been warning that time is rapidly running out to negotiate these exact amendments. Every day spent arguing over a single word is a day the bill doesn't get a vote. And while Senator Kevin Cramer notes that they are almost there on the compromises, recognizing the finish line does not guarantee crossing it before the August recess hits. As any major piece of legislation gets inches from passing, these hyper-technical details become the hardest conflicts to resolve, halting the entire package. The second trap involves procedural constraints. Consider the Urgent Reconciliation 3.0 bill, a fast-track budget package designed to quickly replenish lagging U.S. military stockpiles. To gain leverage, House lawmakers attempted to attach the Save America Act, a separate piece of legislation mandating voter ID and citizenship proofs, directly onto this defense budget package. But the Senate operates under a strict guideline known as the Byrd Rule. This rule dictates that any policy placed inside a fast-track reconciliation bill must be directly related to finance and the budget. If a provision is deemed social policy, it hits a hard procedural wall. Attempting to force it into a budget shatters the proposal into a series of multi-committee reviews that instantly drain the bill's momentum. Lawmakers cannot simply bypass the system by hiding controversial policies inside must-pass budgets. Doing so inevitably trips the Senate's procedural alarms. The third and most powerful trap is political brinksmanship, driven by the end of September deadline to fund the government. To avoid a crisis, Congress uses a tactical legislative tool called a continuing resolution, or a CR. A CR maintains current government funding levels, effectively taking the threat of a shutdown and shoving it down the calendar to December 4th. A looming shutdown is a powerful weapon. Congressional leadership relies on caucus unity to wield that exact threat, using the ticking clock to force the opposition into abandoning their other priorities. This dynamic turns routine bills into hostages. When avoiding a government shutdown becomes the absolute focus of the entire chamber, all oxygen is sucked out of the room. Debate on tech regulation, like the Clarity Act, and foreign sanctions is entirely suffocated. When the basic institutional survival of the government is on the line, good faith policy negotiations are immediately tabled in favor of raw political leverage. Passing legislation in the Senate is rarely about finding a majority who agrees on an idea. It is a multi-dimensional chess game governed by timing, procedural rules, and leverage. When those gears misalign, the entire system locks up. The immediate fallout for the tech sector is severe. The crypto industry is left trapped in regulatory limbo, bleeding innovation and capital to overseas markets that have already established their rules. The broader national consequences follow the same pattern. Crucial military stockpiles remain unreplenished, and updated sanctions against hostile nations sit completely stalled on desks in Washington. Even if Congress successfully passes a continuing resolution, that doesn't solve the gridlock. It merely kicks the ultimate confrontation into a highly volatile, post-election lame duck session in December. Even when there is broad, bipartisan appetite to regulate a new financial frontier or defend the nation, the mechanical realities of the congressional calendar have the power to run out the clock.